landing in London.
To come and pay my last respects.
It's the final stop on tour to remember the United Kingdom's late queen. Making a pitch. David Beckham's plan for a Miami soccer stadium is one big step closer to happening. And Marlins fans hoping for a win in the team's third game in 2 days.
Here. And there it goes.
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
I'm Samantha Gutierrez.
And I'm Julian Davis. Today is Wednesday, September 14th, 2022.
Live from the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
In London, they are lining up this morning for the best view of the Queen's casket making its procession from the palace. A procession worthy of a queen at this hour in London.
Following the arrival of Queen Elizabeth II's coffin at Buckingham Palace, today it will travel in a silent procession to Westminster Hall. Thousands in London lining up, some even camping, all to pay their respects to the late monarch.
She's given 70 years of her life to our country, and this is a small moment that we can give back to her.
Walking alongside the coffin, King Charles III, along with his siblings and some of the Queen's grandchildren, will make their way to Westminster Hall. Members of the royal family will also follow by car.
A less redacted version of the Mar-a-Lago affidavit is available this morning. It was made available by a judge yesterday and it reveals new information. This version of the affidavit uncovers more details about the grand jury subpoena. It was previously said that the subpoena was served on June 24th. However, the filing reveals that the Trump Organization was actually ordered to turn over the files earlier this year.
From Washington, D.C., the National Gallery of Art is returning with its after-hours event this fall with its late-night museum reception for those who can't visit the museum during regular business hours. Reporter Juliana Narvaez from our D.C. Bureau is in Washington this morning.
National Gallery Nights returns to D.C., bringing lively multisensory themed programs on the second Thursday of September, October, and November. The National Gallery of Arts comes to life with many activities such as live musical performances, art making, and pop-up exhibits. This is the first year since COVID-19 the museum brings back this event.
Well, I like that it has a lot of variety of paintings, especially since we can get really close to them, and also really vibe with the fact that there's so many people here. It's just you discovering the museum and all that.
The National Gallery Night kicked off their fall comeback last Thursday with their homecoming-themed event and will continue in October with an ode to Halloween in their trick-or-treat themed night, and again in September with their Americana-themed program.
I didn't expect it to look this way. All the art is very modern, and I was expecting, more picture frames type of vibe, but it's been very interesting.
Although admission is always free, guests must register for the event 1 week in advance. However, a limited number of passes are available on the morning of each program. Being a long-standing crowd favorite DC event, tickets sell out quickly, bringing in immense crowds ready to immerse themselves in the museum experience. From Washington, D.C., for the South Florida Media Network, this is Juliana Narvaez.
Controversy in the Magic City this morning, an issue involving Miami's Virginia Key Beach, drawing prospectors to yesterday's City Hall meeting. The network's Leanne Abatar-Bush was there.
A plan that lies amidst controversy is up for discussion today. We are here at the Miami City Hall for a meeting that will discuss the closure of Virginia Key Park as well as the housing of underprivileged homeless individuals inside Virginia Key Park.
Community-controlled cooperative housing project in Liberty City.
Signs, banners, and posters were carried high at this rally in front of Miami City Hall expressing opposition to a plan that would affect Virginia Key. During public discussions, a lot of people had the chance to voice their opinions about the historic and environmental impact of shutting down the Virginia Key Outdoor Center.
This is a plan that's debased of any kind of ethical or compassionate care when it comes to the houseless. It's objectifying them as a problem instead of viewing them as people.
So when we talk about Virginia Key Beach, we're talking about a historically black landmark, right? And there's several here in Florida that are not just important to the black community, but the overall diversity and cultural fabric of Florida. We talk about Eula Johnson and Von D. Mizell State Park in Dania. We're talking about other places in Sarasota and St. Petersburg.
More than 17,000 people signed a petition to halt the plan, claiming that it would isolate the homeless population away from mainland Miami, limit their access to job opportunities and transportation, as well as put them on the front lines of the climate crisis, since Virginia Key is a flood hazard area. The question remains, is this the best way to tackle homelessness in Miami? Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, Leana Botarbush.
A win off the pitch for investors behind a proposed Inter-Miami CF soccer stadium near Miami International Airport. The City of Miami awarded the Freedom Park project final zoning at yesterday's meeting. This will allow construction to begin soon. Now the team owners Jorge and Jose Mas, along with retired soccer star David Beckham, can apply for permits and break ground. The commissioners voted 4-1, with Manolo Reyes being the only no vote.
The Marlins will have another chance today to avenge a loss to the Philadelphia Phillies. Game 1 of their 3-game series was last night at Lone Depot Park. Although the Marlins scored the first run of the game, the Phillies were able to come back and take the lead in the 7th inning. Philadelphia ultimately won the game. The final score was Phillies 2, Marlins 1, and the two games face off for their second game of their series later tonight at 6:40 p.m.
A group playing mini golf is taking small swings but making a big difference for flood victims.
That's still ahead, and so is his story.
And I started making cupcakes and more cupcakes and making for friends and family.
Miramar liked her cupcakes so much, she made it her full-time job. Stick around, we'll be back in just 2 minutes.
If a natural disaster shows up at your doorstep, you can't just turn it away. That's why it's important to prepare for emergencies before they show up. Go to ready.gov/plan to find the tools and tips you need. And make a plan today.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
A Broward County woman turning her small cakes into big dreams. It all started with her baking for her daughter's classmates. Now it's a family business.
The network's Amanda Millian takes us inside Sweet Gems Cupcakes in Miramar.
Miramar is the home to a sweet hidden gem. Jessica Castro, a mother, a former freelance graphic designer, and now owner of Sweet Gem Cupcakes, turned her hobby of baking into a lifestyle.
When my daughters were babies, once they got into preschool, as they were babies, got to 3 or 4 years old, I started baking for them to take to school all the time. And then my son was born 4 years later, and I would always take cupcakes to them, make little designs for invitations, and then I started making cupcakes and more cupcakes and then making for friends and family. And 10 years later, I decided to open the shop.
The Castro family is no stranger to running small businesses. Jessica followed in those footsteps.
My mother owned her own hair salon for about 13 years. My father owned his own business as well, import and export for 30 years plus.
Jessica's twin daughters, Isabella and Bianca, followed in their mother's footsteps as they learned to bake and run the family business. The mother-daughter trio has formed the ultimate dream team.
One of my daughters takes care of all the buttercreaming of the cupcakes. She does it all from, when we open, she can set it all up. My other daughter makes cookies, brownies. They run the coffee machine. They talk to the customers. It's a great help, and I trust them 100%, and without them I couldn't run it.
Sweet Gem prides itself on their gourmet treats, which are baked daily. Aside from their array of options, they custom orders for events.
Everything is fresh. I don't keep things frozen. I have to bake per order, and we do in store. We offer gourmet coffees. We have brownies, cookies, croissants, the croissant sandwiches for breakfast.
If you need to crave your sweet tooth, head down to Sweet Gem. They got your back. This is Amanda Milian, South Florida Media Network.
A new Guinness World Record is in the books this morning, and it is for a good cause. On a mini golf course near Louisville, Kentucky, Tony Centers and his 3 friends earned the record for most holes made by a team of 4 in a 24-hour game of mini golf. Together, they surpassed the 2,097-hole previous record by 657 holes. The record breakers then encouraged donations, raising almost $3,000, helping those devastated by the floods that had affected Kentucky.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Samantha Gutierrez. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.